If you're just diving into this iceberg, make sure you go check out part 1 and 2 before watching this video. So with that being said, let's go to the bottom of the iceberg. Shock Therapy New Tool. In 2013, the Amsoil Shock Therapy became the first ever truck to be used for the new tool for Hot Wheels Monster Jam. It was only released in a playset despite the fact that the truck was already retired, or at least out of Monster Jam at that point. It's a very rare truck and an extremely obscure truck, and who knows how much it would be cost in the future. CCE Theme Songs. CCE, also known as Clear Channel Entertainment, were the original owners of Monster Jam in the early to mid-2000s. During that time, between 2002 and 2005, they made custom theme songs for certain trucks, including T-Ments, Gunslinger, and Power Forward. There was even one planned for Gravedigger. Unfortunately, you just cannot beat that to the bone. And there was potentially one used for Blue Thunder, although all these have been considered lost media until around 2018. Also, there could have potentially been more trucks that could have had custom theme songs besides T-Ments. Gravedigger MasterCard. In the late 90s and early 2000s, there was a custom concept for a credit card with Monster Jam trucks. One of these include Gravedigger. It's just, there's nothing specific about this. I just thought it was really cool, and many people don't know that. Similar to what NASCAR does when they have their own credit cards. Gravedigger website. Sticking to the theme of Gravedigger, in 2012 and 2013, there was originally a Gravedigger website where you could just buy stuff, and basically it's just like most other monster truck websites like Team Scream, where you can just buy merchandise and all that. Unfortunately, the website is gone. However, you can try to find the link so you can put it through the Wayback Machine and relive the nostalgia of the early 2010s. Firemouth was meant to drive past 2002. In case if you don't know, Firemouth was a very, very, very short-lived truck in Monster Jam. Mostly just competed in World Finals 3, and that was just about it. But Firemouth, if you don't know, is actually a licensed truck. If you don't know, Firemouth is basically fish bait. It was meant to drive past 2002. Unfortunately, I guess the contract expired, So therefore, Firemouth became the most obscure Feld truck of all time. Bret Hart. In 2000, when they started making the WCW trucks, there was Goldberg, Sting, and WCW Nitro Machine. However, there was meant to be a fourth one as well, not counting Medusa, so technically there was a fifth one. Hitman Bret Hart, based on the real-life wrestler. However, this was never made, and was eventually used as a second Sting truck. Avenger Jetsk. At World Finals 10 in 2009, there was actually an Avenger boat in the fountain. As you can see, King Crunch jumping over it, but I don't think anyone destroyed it. The only reason it's this low in the iceberg is just because of how unknown that this has become. 2000 Slinger. In 2000, Hot Wheels decided for their Rev and Go 1/43rd scale, instead of Gunslinger, they decided to just put Slinger for some reason. However, this would be purely a coincidence that 17 years later, Gunslinger was turned into Slinger, unfortunately. So, does this mean that Hot Wheels can predict the future? Gravedigger roller coaster. In late 2018, at Cedar Point, Ohio, they announced there would be a Gravedigger-themed roller coaster at Cedar Point. However, I don't even know if this went past the concept, as you see right here. I mean, look at this thing. World Finals 9 Commemorative Truck. In 2008, the Monster Jam made its first ever commemorative truck, in air quotes, because it was a plus truck. It was never made into Hot Wheels Monster Jam. I guess this could also coincide as World Finals 1 through 9, because it doesn't say which World Finals it could be. Although I think it could say it on the hood or on the back there. With the 5th tier knocked out, let's go below the abyss. East Rutherford World Finals concept. When the World Finals was originally going to be a rotational event, their first instinct was to go to New Jersey and East Rutherford. As you can see here in this concept art, it shows very much similarities to World Finals 18, which was the most recent World Finals up to that point. However, in late 2018, they decided they were going to go to Orlando instead, and it seems like it might be the permanent home for the World Finals from here on out. The left lane curse. The left lane curse refers to the fact that only a few drivers have won from the left lane. However, most of them have either crashed, mostly violently, or spin out or be cursed in some sort of way. However, the most notable of these are the 5 crashes in the final round within the left lane. For example, in 2000, Gunslinger spun out, but that's just the beginning. In 2003, there would be a very messy race between Jimmy Cretin and Brian Bartle, with Brian Bartle getting the narrow edge over Bounty Hunter, but they both spun out, but Wolverine regained first. In 2009, Alex Blackwell infamously crashed into the stands. However, this was probably because he had no brakes, and rather than running head-on into the wall, he decided to spin because it would be better to pirouette than to drive head-on into the stands. The curse wouldn't bite again until 2014, when Tom Meents, who undeservingly won in a runoff against Lee O'Donnell in the semifinals, he essentially launched over the freestyle obstacle, creating a huge wreck. And then 1 year later, Son of a Digger spun out and did a sidewall and eventually saved it, but by then, Todd LeDuc had already won the race. 2020 All-Star Challenge. In 2020, the All-Star Challenge was going to be Zombie versus Hunter, similar to how in 2019, the challenge was essentially fire versus ice. However, unfortunately, it didn't get past the drawing board because the world was being dominated by a different kind of disease. World Finals 3 Encore. World Finals 3 concluded with a 5 consecutive truck freestyle involving Blacksmith, Bulldozer, Team Meents, 20th Anniversary Gravedigger, and Hot Wheels. However, there's little footage to back this up, and has been considered lost media. But we do have some pictures, and we could pinpoint the reenactment of this encore. Also, Wolverine was involved, not Hot Wheels. Rayman. Rayman is a unlockable truck from the game Monster Jam Maximum Destruction. This is extremely unique, as seeing how the entire chassis is invisible, mostly because Rayman doesn't have any limbs, just hands, a torso, legs, feet, and a head. The only reason he is in here is because Ubisoft, who created Rayman, also helped develop Monster Jam Maximum Destruction. It is unknown how you unlock this truck. Just go figure it out yourself. Little Tiger World Finals 5 Hood. At World Finals 5, Brian Bartle and the Little Tiger decided to put the 2003 Racing Champion decal on the hood. However, there's little evidence to back this up, but here is one photo right here, and here's another one right here, just barely visible, but it's extremely blurry. Here's a recreation of it by Monster Jam OCD. And here it is. Unfortunately, Little Tiger was never made in Hot Wheels Monster Jam nor Spin Master, so that's why this is so low on the iceberg. Diesel Bros lawsuit. At one point in 2018 or 2019, the Diesel Bros were sued by the people that owned Extreme Diesel for claiming that Brodozer was the first diesel-powered truck. This is false, because Extreme Diesel became a thing in 2009, although ironically, they have the same color pattern, black and yellow. Insert that one song here. The lawsuit was eventually dropped and the Diesel Brothers won. WWE prototypes. In 2007, WWE trucks were made by Hot Wheels Monster Jam to promote WrestleMania 23. There was Batista versus John Cena, The Rock versus Stone Cold, and Undertaker/Triple H versus Rey Mysterio. However, there were many more planned. Here was one by one of the Hardy brothers. The other Hardy brother, Jeff, Edge, Roddy Piper, even though a 124 did exist, but they didn't make a 164. It's unknown whether that was planned or not. As well as Hulkmania. It didn't get past the render, but here it is right here. World Finals 11 Gravedigger Encore. In the 2010 Monster Jam World Finals, there was an encore involving the original Gravedigger, the blue Gravedigger, and the red Gravedigger, where the red and the black Gravedigger crashed into each other in front of a van stack. However, Dennis Anderson originally planned for all three to crash. However, the blue Gravedigger flipped over very early, so unfortunately, we only got to see that awesome collision between Gravediggers. Monsters on Main Street. For a few years, Monsters on Main Street was a sweepstakes where you had the chance of winning a Ford F-150. Also, there was actually a real-life event where the monsters went on Main Street, hence the name right there. It's unknown if, I don't know, there's not much evidence to back this up, but this is an event that did happen. Unfortunately, there's not much more information I could give to you on this topic. With the third part knocked out, we have 2 more to go. Tune in for part number 4, where we dive into the pit. Ooh.